Guess what?
What? Chicken butt.
It's time for another installment of Mother Licking Motherfunkler.
Oh, man.
Gee, that's a high energy. Guess what?
Fucking fired up today.
You know what?
All fired up.
Yeah. So, greetings to all our fellow Funklers. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Please share our link with your friends and family. Send us reviews, comments, and questions. They are greatly appreciated. To my left, DJ Rose.
Rose.
To my right, Showtime Sadul.
Oh, baby.
Oh, my. The Wizard of Ed is over there. Amanda Panda Skittlebuns is around here somewhere.
She's hanging. Don't worry about her. She's good.
All right.
What a week, man.
Yeah.
It's a good week, dude.
Oh,
Fucking
gosh.
epic week.
Hey.
Fuck. Man, the holidays.
Tell me
dude.
more.
So, it was the week of the taste. So kind of, throughout the year we have the Hop Hannibal, third Thursday of the year. And, the whole thing culminates at the end of the year. The third Thursday that happens to be the Thursday before Thanksgiving.
There's a lot of TH words in there.
The third Thursday. Yeah, TTT.
Third
TQ.
Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. And it was just absolutely outstanding. The weather was fantastic. We had 3 bands. I'll save it for the nuggets later, but it was just a fabulous
Good times, man.
A lot of work. A lot of roller coaster ramp up, drop into exhaustion.
Yeah.
And now I think we're all baselining out, right?
Yeah, I only knew how exhausted I was was yesterday when I couldn't function.
What physically, mentally, all
Yeah.
the above?
I mean,
All
did
of the
that have
above.
anything to do with you drinking and watching a rugby game?
No. Well, the rugby game was kind of giving me energy. It's funny how watching a sports game that I was very flat through the morning, and then the game started, and I don't know if this happens to you, but you can be totally flat, but you must feel it sometimes when you do trivia. You get on stage, and then it's action lights.
It's like my favorite thing. It's
Yeah.
like my favorite thing about
You're
trivia.
fully energized.
Well, it's that I don't have to worry about this stupid fucking phone and everybody else's fucking problems that I have to deal with all the time. When I'm standing on stage for 2 hours, it's like I'm out. I'm checked out of reality, and it's fucking rad.
It's a
Very therapeutic.
meditative state.
Yeah, very therapeutic. I like
So yesterday I poured myself a Guinness. I don't really
Ooh.
enjoy Guinness.
You poured yourself a Guinness.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. Did you go to the liquor store and buy Guinness?
Yeah, I get them
Was it a can with a puck in the bottom, or did you buy a bottle?
a bottle.
So no fizzy,
nitro.
No, yeah, no.
No, it was pretty fizzy though. It foamed up quite nicely.
Yeah, but there's you know about the puck he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's only in the cans, not in the
Yeah.
bottle.
Well, I mean, I didn't even think about. I just saw. I was looking. So I kind of got a text message yesterday to say, hey, there's a game on. I didn't know there was a game on. I'm not really following rugby.
International rugby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
feel you.
I got a text to say, so my family, my dad's brother and my cousins were going to the game in Dublin yesterday. So they sent me a text saying they're on their way to the game. And I looked at to see what game it was. And then I thought, okay, let me go and get some Guinness. So yeah, I was very flat. I didn't even think I would drink. But
Were they drinking Guinness at the same time you were drinking Guinness at the
Oh,
same
I'm
time
pretty
you guys
sure.
were both watching the rugby game?
I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, look, when you're in Dublin, when you go to any sport or actually music concert, and I'm going to talk about my music concert.
It's kind of like
escapade.
Fievel Mouskowitz
I know.
looking at the same moon that his family's looking at from across
That's an American tail drop he just did right
Yeah.
there. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, you were watching it at home though?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember early in my life watching it reminds me of watching soccer when I was younger and had no clue. And growing up as an 80s, 90s kid in America, soccer was like a joke back then. Like soccer was what the fucking nerds that we put like boogers on their shirts, that's what they played in high school when we were children.
Right.
Obviously now it's different. It's a whole cultural phenomenon here in America as well, but at the time it was not. And I remember I was really trying to get laid from this girl who was fucking into soccer, and all of her soccer dudes and all the soccer chicks all went to Harpenkelt. This was before I hosted there, so I didn't really know anybody, and how uncomfortable it fucking felt for me to sit there and like look
Be
around.
interested.
Well, I was trying to make eye contact with somebody, be like, this is fucking lame, right? Like, you guys see how fucking lame this is? And I have to pretend like, it was close. It almost went in the goal.
Did you learn anything about soccer?
At the time, I was just hammering drinks and partying and trying to get laid. But I remember having to sit, how uncomfortable it was to sit there all day to watch these fucking soccer matches, pretending like I'm doing something clearly out of place. Like, they're all wearing the jerseys and the scarves and shit. I'm wearing like a vintage Hawaiian shirt, like not really fitting in. But ultimately, you have to put yourself through these uncomfortable situations in order to get laid. What do you fuck you think? Of course I did. Come on.
Hey.
So it's worth the effort.
That's right. I don't know about that. I don't think looking back, I accomplished the goal. Was the goal now in retrospect worth the effort? I don't think so. But
DJ Rose, what's the craziest thing you've done to get something you want?
So one of the most, I'd say that two very uncomfortable things I've done, and whenever I've done it, I've always questioned myself, why the fuck am I doing this? So Nick is a runner, right? And you know that it's endurance, right? So it's really, there are times when it's fucking sore and your mind is giving up and everything is giving up, right? So I did my first half marathon. I've only done, the furthest I've ever run was half a marathon. So I did my first half marathon. And, I'd say that after like about 12 kilometers, so I'm kind of halfway through the marathon, I am just like trying to like fight with myself as to what the hell am I doing? Do you know that you still have got another 12 and a half fucking kilometers to go?
I mean,
this is ridiculous.
Say it in miles, bro. I don't know what the fuck
yeah,
you're talking about.
So it's probably, what is it? How many miles?
I mean, so doing the math,
20 miles.
A 5K is 3 miles, so you're talking about 7.5 miles at 12 kilometers, I guess, something like that.
So I'm halfway on a marathon.
So you're more than halfway there.
And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? Everything,
like 5.5 miles left.
Everything is sore. Everything is broken. There's nothing that's.
Were you chafed?
No. Well, I don't think so. It was. You put a lot of Vaseline on, so you don't really. You don't really feel that.
No nip chafage.
No.
I wear Band-Aids.
Yeah. So everything is covered up.
I wore Band-Aids this morning when I ran. It's not worth it, bro. Your
No.
nipples shaving, fucking.
Yeah. So you have that, but the challenge is just your mind. You almost get to a point where your mind doesn't want to do this anymore. Your body is everything is sore. Your knees are sore. Everything that you don't enjoy anything, and but I completed it.
Why'd you sign up?
Well, it was a bit of a team build. So the head of the business at the time wanted everyone to do it, and if we did it, then we had kind of the 3 days, kind of the travel day there, the day of the run, and then the travel back. Fully funded, it was like a long weekend away from the office.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I've since, I've got the scars, and there's something to be said about completing an endurance event.
I was going to say, when you talk carrots, to me, there's nothing more of a incentive for PR to do something than completing some sort of team synergy, fucking building. Fucking lame group effort thing. Like, he's like, yeah, the energy of the group was totally worth me going through this immense pain.
Yeah, it was less.
I guess I can't quantify the payoff.
Well, the payoff for me is that I achieved something that I never thought possible. So it's very individual. Like when you do one of these.
So I don't think he's picking up on your hypothetical here. The hypothetical is, have you done something uncomfortable to get a positive goal at the end of it?
Yeah. So the positive goal was that when you do one of these like cycle races, 100K cycle race or the half marathons that I've done, it's very individually kind of gratifying. It really is. You push yourself to a point, and only you can really appreciate fully what you've actually achieved. And so I know that I can do this thing, like something that I never thought possible, to be able to go that distance. And I've subsequently done a few, right? And I can now have, I really feel that I can, in my business and in life generally, I know that if I set myself a goal, that I think is just absolutely extraordinarily impossible, I can do it.
Yeah, but
Simply because I did that run.
put 13 miles on a fucking map and look at it. It's like a
it's-
long
it
distance
is
that
a
you're running. It's
ridiculous
wild.
distance.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's a lot of training that goes with it, right? So there's a lot of pain. It's not actually just the day. It's the weeks and weeks and weeks that you train on your own. There's no friends around. You're not going to find a buddy that's going to run.
I mean, you can.
Occasionally.
There's running groups. There's training groups
Yeah,
constantly. In,
but
in bigger
a lot of it
cities.
is-
Here, there's one. There's many here. Actually.
Yeah, but a lot of it is that you got your own race that you're going to run, right? And you're dealing with your pace. Sometimes your knee is hurting, sometimes your head is hurting, whatever the issues are. So I know that if I set myself an objective because of those runs that I did and the cycles, I can achieve anything.
So, yeah, what I was talking about with my story is more so like I'm putting myself through something knowingly uncomfortable that I don't really want to do for a potential goal at the end of it. And you naturally for PR, turned it into a self-help story of you wanted to do it for the accomplishment of setting a goal. So you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation so you could accomplish it.
Well, the thing is that I didn't know how uncomfortable it was going to be. I just thought I could do it. Like I did a bungee jump once. I absolutely did not know how absolutely terrifying that was going to be. The only time I knew what an idiotic thing it was just before I jumped off. Because for the first time,
I don't think it's idiotic.
I kind of was standing right at the edge of the bridge, even though I had a rope, something tied around my ankles.
Yeah.
It was like, it's suicidal.
Where I'm going with the exploration, I mean, Nick's example is textbook, and as I'm racking my brain, really, so to copulate, guys will do some pretty weird shit.
Yes.
To get from point A to point B.
Like drive to Tampa at 3 in the morning.
Everything else,
fucking name it.
Like running a marathon, I don't see a direct payoff other than potentially chemically.
That's what I was saying.
But then is the chemical payoff the same thing as getting laid? You're getting a chemical dump when you're getting laid.
That's not really where I was going with drawing a distinction. His story he just gave showed why it was even less like my example.
Correct.
Which is I went into a scenario doing something that I knew would make me feel uncomfortable for a potential payoff at the end of it. So I was like, this at the time. I mean, now I'd go watch soccer. So, if you're listening, I don't give a shit. But I would go watch soccer. I enjoy it now. It's cool. But at the time, I was like, I'm really going to go watch fucking 3 hours of soccer right now. Like, I don't know anything about this shit. Like, the last guy I knew, his name was Brandon in high school, and I made fun of him fucking hard for playing soccer. But he was also the guy who wore the short, like Adidas shorts to school, before he'd go play soccer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to go hang out with a bunch of these guys wearing these short shorts, fucking watching soccer. And I'm doing that on purpose, knowing that I'm trying to get laid. And what he's saying is he didn't even know it'd make him feel uncomfortable before he did it. And he was doing it for a general overall personal strengthening exercise, which can be argued is why we do everything that we do. Like we go to school for 3 years, which is fucking terrible, with the idea that you're going to get some degree and use it later. You go to Leadership Winter Park and go through the process of learning everybody and the work that comes with waking up in the morning for pancake breakfast and shit with the idea that you're going to graduate. Like those are just normal life experiences. What I was bringing up is personally seeking something that makes you feel uncomfortable, something you don't want to do for a potential end.
I think the idea that you can put yourself in uncomfortable situations that you are trying to manipulate, or you can put yourself in an uncomfortable situation where you're trying to get a certain, where you're not trying to manipulate a situation, you want to achieve a certain goal. So in my example there, I was really putting myself in a situation, and I knew that I would be uncomfortable, but I didn't understand the extreme nature of, the revelation is that I have a huge amount of respect now for people that do endurance events, there's an incredible amount of discipline that they go through, and they put themselves through, and a lot of hardships that they put themselves through in order to achieve that run they're going to do, and the commitment to that. So
yeah.
I guess for me that's the one. But I honestly didn't know that it was going to be. I really thought I could do it. I thought I was young. It was 20 years ago. I was young. I was fit. I was working out all the time. I honestly thought that I could do it like I'd do a 5K. And it unfortunately is absolutely not like that. I fortunately did do a bit of, I did a few runs before that, but nothing compared to what I've done subsequently. And I know that it is, you do almost have to put yourself in extreme discomfort in order to achieve that end
that's
goal.
part of it. I mean, really, that's what long distance running is fighting. So what you're doing is, if you break it down, long distance running is, can your lungs handle it? Can the muscles of your legs physically handle it? Which for most people, it could. Like, it can. That's not what it is. It's fighting against panic response. So while you're running, your brain at certain times is like, you got to fucking stop.
You got to stop
like,
this.
And it's a warning mechanism built into your body. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But what you're doing with the long training and the hardcore training is strengthening the muscles so that they can physically do it, but also training your brain to be like, no, you're still okay. No, you're still okay. Like, don't shut down. We're going to be all right. The body, we do this all the time. We're going to make it. That's kind of what the long-term training is.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you put yourself in an uncomfortable position for an end?
I am the king of fucking uncomfortability.
Oh, I mean, I can't wait to hear it. I'm sure there's, like when you walked up and made a pass at your butcher. I remember that story. And,
No, I mean, so.
And then you guys are now like on first name basis.
I guess just even in our initial thoughts, I'm starting to classify. There's probably two different payoffs of being uncomfortable. One is to achieve something immediate like sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this other category that I'm formulating as we speak that is probably just a chemical dump from your body that is more along the lines of what PR would be talking about. You do this uncomfortable thing. There isn't a prize or a treat to be achieved at the very end, but it contributes to better well-being, stronger demeanor, shit like that. So I dabble in both, and I mean, shit, lifting weights is very uncomfortable. The diet that I've put myself through, the wake up times, opening a business.
I mean, I do want to tell you.
Tattoos, piercings.
There's one.
There is one.
That's a good example.
That is a very good example.
Tattoos and piercings, because you're going through pain. I mean, there are some people who I've heard enjoy the physical pain of it as part of the experience.
I enjoy the pain of it, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Yeah,
you do after a certain point of it. Without a doubt, it has to do with chemicals in my body. There is a point where it is pretty painful up to a point. Then your body is like, fuck this, and it dumps everything. And then there's a point where your body runs out of chemicals to dump, and you go into experiencing absolute pure pain for the first time in your life. And it's chosen pain that you're sitting there through not being able to numb up.
Jesus.
And it's a test of.
I've only had 2 tattoos, and they were tiny enough that I don't think I got past the first level.
So I've sat for 9 hours with potty breaks.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I looked at my artist and I was like, I want to tap out. And he's like, buck up, little camper. We got 15 minutes left. We're finishing this thing. And I'm like, all right, let's go, buddy. So there's, I mean, would you say that there's the two categories? That there's this immediate gratification of sex or something, and then there's this other thing that is more.
I mean, of course, like one of them's just personal growth, and that's what I was getting at. The PR was talking about.
Yeah,
one of them is just understanding that you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do to accomplish and grow yourself. And then there's other things where you're like, I'm putting myself through this purposefully because I have this particular goal in mind.
I've done a Native American sweat lodge.
There's a good example of one that's
when I got out of the sweat lodge, I didn't get a trophy, I didn't get cake, I didn't get sex. Like, what the fuck was the
that
point?
can relate.
What's the point in putting myself through that?
That can relate to the second part of what PR said, which is when you finish the half marathon, that is your accomplishment goal. That's what you were fighting for. That gives you the
to what end? Like, I can chalk it up as a good story, and it makes me a stronger person.
It's making your existence that much more with depth, and making you the person that you are, giving you perspective on shit. Like, there's a million reasons. I mean, that's why everybody does all the fucking bullshit that they do. I mean, people who train for a marathon are doing it because they don't think, most of them, I mean, vast majority, they're never going to like be a professional. People who are taking piano lessons aren't taking piano lessons, which are uncomfortable, to be a fucking classically trained pianist. They're doing it because it makes them, it makes their experience of life a little bit richer and a little bit better.
I mean,
it tickles their pickle.
It tickles the fancy.
The one that I think the third one for me is
Strip club.
is the adventure. I put myself through sometimes very uncomfortable. I'm living an adventure at the moment, right? So I kind of one day decided to get on a plane and to leave at the age of 50, to leave the country that I knew really well, right? You think I didn't put myself in an uncomfortable situation? That's what I've been doing. I mean, when you are at 50, you typically have got a lot of your I's dotted and your T's crossed in terms of how you want to live your life.
In your lowercase case.
And
especially your lowercase
case. But one of the things that I've mentioned to you guys a few times is the sense of adventure. I've had that for a long time, but putting myself in an uncomfortable situation. I love you too. I decided the band.
I love you. I love you too.
I thought you were talking about Trevor for a minute.
I couldn't. I would.
Thanks,
I would never
man.
say that. But I decided that I was gonna. My wife said to me,
you don't. I love you too.
I love you, man.
So the band, yeah. And so my wife said to me she was going to she was in London. She was working in London at the time. I was in South Africa, and she said to me that she's got a ticket. She's going to join my uncle and aunt who were in Dublin, live in Dublin. They had given her a ticket. They had Friends of U2 concert tickets. And so, she was going, and I was like, fuck that.
This was to get laid.
No, this was not to get laid. This was my wife.
This is an epic adventure to get laid.
No, it was not. This was an epic adventure of just saying that I am going to go and I'm going to find a ticket. So it is the first time I've ever done something like that. I flew from South Africa to London, didn't have a flight from London to Dublin. Right, and if you are flying from London to Dublin on a Friday, on a normal Friday, it's tricky to get a flight if you're booking it last minute. But if there's a U2 concert in Dublin, it's impossible. So I flew South Africa to London.
It just makes me think how dumb everybody is in Europe. God,
that is
U2 fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, but as you know, with music, it's very subjective, and so.
Guess. I think they've just tricked a lot of people into thinking that it's good. It's fucking terrible.
Interesting. But anyways, needless to say, I got to the I managed to get flights to Dublin. My wife was able to. I surprised her. I didn't tell her I was coming, so she was still in London, and I got into London, said I'm there, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm coming with you to the U2 concert." She goes, "No, you're not." It's Saturday and today is Friday, and there was no ways I was to get tickets. But the long and the short of it is that I did go to the U2 concert. I got one of those tickets that you buy, from the illegals. It was probably the
illegals.
Guys selling illegal
so scalpers,
tickets.
not
Scalpers.
immigrants.
Yeah, no,
The
not
vernacular
immigrants.
is different here in America.
Yeah, no, this was people selling tickets illegally, and I was able to get those and go to the concert, and it was one of the most. So here's the thing: sense of adventure put me in a very uncomfortable situation, and if I think about my best ever concert, it was that one.
So I've read a paper recently on anticipation. Is the gist of this was that the actual study was done on a day off. You're going to relax all day Sunday. You actually get more of a enjoyment Saturday night, anticipating the day off Sunday, and then you don't get the dump on Sunday that you expect.
Dude,
it's preparation and anticipation.
This is the monologue of Al Pacino and Gary Glen Ross, where he is talking. He's trying to pitch somebody. And he's talking about a sexual experience he had with a woman, and he starts off by saying, "I don't even remember the orgasm. What I remember is the fucking hour and a half leading up to it, where we walked into the room. My balls felt like they were full of fucking concrete. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was moment to moment." He's like, but basically, then I don't even remember the orgasm. Like, that didn't even matter. It was the lead up to it. But I mean, I've read a study where your perception of time slows down when you're in uncomfortable and unknown situations.
Absolutely.
So when you're normal,
when you're
routine, it's just fucking, your life just flashes by and it just goes by. When you're doing novel, uncomfortable stuff, your life is going to feel like it's a lot longer, that you have more time here if you are putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
I also have a feeling that, well, I'll save that for later.
Okay. Put a butt plug in that.
Put a pin in that one.
Isn't it, when you say the time slows down, though, isn't it because you're not doing something that's routine? Because I find my weekends just become longer when I do things that I don't normally do.
What you're talking about is neuroplasticity. Your brain creates ruts that gets tasks done easy. And if you enter into a new task, you have to create a new pathway to get that task done.
Your brain is all about resource management. So it has not that much. It's used to not having resources. It needs to allocate its resources to what needs to be done. So when you're doing something that's a routine, like, that's why you may be driving sometime, you're like, oh shit, I'm on autopilot, I'm going to the office, because your brain loves not having to put a bunch of fucking work into what you're doing.
Well, it loves pattern recognition,
which then makes it go fast. Like, it's not understanding everything and putting everything in a category. If you're doing something new and you're uncomfortable and you're sweating and you're embarrassed, like, your brain is firing, so everything slows down. So
I'm trying to do that now more and more, because I've been kind of in a routine. Fridays, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and then the weekend, I know. And then, the podcast. And now, over the last few months, I've been trying to do things, even if it's just Friday night, that I do something different. What I find is it makes my weekend longer. So when I drive to work on a Monday morning, it's like, wow, I don't remember doing that Friday afternoon drive because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
But normally, I'm in such a routine. It's like, gee whiz. Just the other minute I was driving home, and now I'm driving all the way back to the office.
Well, I'd be willing to bet that the Friday afternoon drive is a little boozy, right?
It is a little boozy, but it is. I've started to change it up a little bit. Where I do
instead, not just boozy,
not just boozy.
Coke?
No. I add something.
Black tar.
I add something else to the end of the. So the afternoon, the evenings. Typically, what I would do is, have a few drinks with you guys, and then go home, and then that was the weekend, right? Park the car, and I wouldn't touch it until come to the podcast or come to work on a Monday. Now I've started to change it up a little bit, where I would I would consciously want to do something on a Friday night, like go out somewhere, or. Saturdays I've started to do the Bolden Park, the walk around the lake. Done that a few times. I need to change it up now. Maybe find another walk around another lake. Do you know any lakes I could walk around?
Yeah, there's shit. We're in Florida.
Fucking Florida.
Right.
Bro.
So just a lake that I've
been ponds, lakes. There's
one. So just changing it up a little bit. I must say I'd say for the last 2 months or so, my weekends have just become
routine.
No, longer. because I've changed it up
I
a
like
lot.
that.
Oh.
That's rad. Yeah.
I have a theory that if you back to working out and pain and shit, that I do believe if you don't create your own pain now, life is going to hand you some pretty gnarly pain. Does that float?
Yeah, I mean that just in that it reminds me of the quote that if you need to eat food like it's medicine now.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, when you're older, you're going to be eating medicine as food.
Yeah.
So, like, you
Yeah.
need to, like, while you're healthy and young-ish, you need to be, eating particularly as if you're taking medicine. Because if you don't, you're going to be just fucking surviving because your body's falling apart. So that's what I could see.
Yeah.
I mean... this is just youth. Youth is wasted on the young. This is just fucking terrible. Like this, when you're our age, when you're a fucking middle-aged man, you have to really watch everything you do. When I was 24, I could do anything I want. It was fucking radical. Now it's like, yeah, I gotta fucking eat my food like medicine, so that in 20 years I'm not in brutal fucking pain. Like,
but what you're saying is that it's so counter the society we live in right now of instant gratification. Everything that you want, if you think about the drugs that we have, the social media we have, the amount of music opportunities. If you want to go to any concert around the world, if you want to have any fruit right now, you can go to the supermarket. There was a time when we were growing up, particularly me growing up, you waited for the seasonal changes to get the fruit in the stores. Right now, you can pretty much get anything you want.
See, we didn't experience that, dude. We're not that fucking old. Like, I could always get an apple. I can tell you that. I can always go to Publix.
Apples
and
are
get
not seasonal.
Okay.
I'm talking about plums and lychees and yeah.
You're just making shit up now.
No, I'm not. Cherries. No,
right.
Fruit that are actually seasonal, right? Whereas right now, instant gratification means that if you don't get it in the supermarket, you can go onto Amazon and really just order it from wherever in the world the hell you want it, and you can get it. Whereas what we're talking about is actually putting yourself in situations that allow you to grow and to get better. And what you're talking about is actually planning for 20 or 30 years away, leave alone the instant gratification. That's so I think... I would say that's probably something that's needed more today than ever before.
Yeah, but you gotta, to me personally, the way I see life is I can't just live my life thinking I need to make my life better in 20 or 30 years because I get a fucking car accident on the way home from this podcast recording and it's over. And then I spent time sacrificing things that I'd otherwise want for some day that never fucking came. But you also can't live your life like, oh shit, I'm gonna die when I'm leaving here. I might as well just fucking hedonism. Let's rage. So I believe in a healthy moderation, a healthy. You gotta watch it sometimes,
totally.
But you gotta let yourself go and realize why you're fucking alive. Like, why am I here or why am I doing this? It's not so that I can enjoy myself when I'm 60, because being 60 sounds like a nightmare to me, even if I'm completely healthy. Like 44 is not great. Like I'm already too old to enjoy a lot of the fucking shit I used to really love to do. Like I can't rage like I used to anymore. I can't fucking party till 2 a.m. I was out till like 10:15 last night. I was like, dude, I'm ready to go to bed so I can go home, man.
No, that's just you, Nick. No. I am a little older than you. And
a lot older than me.
I can do the odd, maybe once in 6 months, 10, 15 plus.
Yeah.
No.
I heard another study. I think it was kids, classroom. If instead of doing the everybody gets a trophy, which I absolutely disagree with, a kid did a good job, got the opportunity to go pick a ping pong ball out of a receptacle.
Yeah.
And then ping pong balls 50-50 chance were marked with like a star or something. And so they did a good job, and then they still had a 50-50 chance if they got the prize or not. And there was bigger payoff in the end.
Just teaching them gambling, baby. Just plumping, getting that fucking hippocampus ready for the fucking success.
You think it's fucked up?
Yeah, dude, I don't like that at all. Like, what you're doing now is you're training them that a successful thing that they've done, so dopamine hit, I did something right, leads to gambling, which then leads to an accelerated dopamine hit if they win again. So, that's a thing. I mean, I see the point. I see where you're getting at.
I don't know if I understand the point. What point do you?
Well, what I interpret the point to be is you did really well. So now, just like life, you're not going to be automatically handed anything. You did something well, so you still only have a chance at success, which I do agree with that, where you have to learn that just because you did something well doesn't mean you're automatically getting the rewards. There's still life. There's still possibility and probability that you still fail. Like sometimes you do a good job and you still fail. That's the lesson she's trying to teach. But really what you're doing to a young brain is attaching a dopamine hit to the success bringing the possibility of a gambling success. Like you're literally talking about fucking lottery balls. Like that's literal lottery balls. So I don't know, but fuck am I? You know, I'm only halfway through my psychology shit.
Another study that I want to wrap up with that I think that I've, drawn my conclusion with is it was from a long time ago. I don't think you're allowed to do the things anymore. And just to shortcut the explanation, people were hooked up, their brains were hooked up, and they had buttons available in front of them. And if they hit a button, it tickled part of their brain. And one button would be related to a sexual experience. One was joy, happiness, so on and so forth. The button that people hit the most was to trigger frustration and mild anger. So I think that the consensus was it directly correlates to dopamine, adrenaline, and you can derive from that like we're here for reproduction. Like any living thing on the face of the earth is to reproduce first and foremost, and then everything, food, water, sunlight, all that shit revolves around us continuing our species. So the frustration and mild anger would be, and we would get dope from that because it causes uncomfortability, and uncomfortability causes growth for us to evolve into a new set of circumstances, and that's the biggest payoff. So anticipation is uncomfortable because you don't know the outcome, and that's frustration. And taking a risk to get laid, you don't know if your choices up to the outcome were appropriate or like a winning mechanism.
Yeah.
So
my gut shot says that people would hit the frustration and mild anger because we're all weak, fucking lost people, and that we only feel comfortable when we're feeling anger and anxiety.
That's very sedule.
So what you do is you're sitting there and you hit the other ones, and your brain is telling you this is too good to be true. This isn't reality. Like, and so you hit anger and anxiety because you're like, okay, I'm comfortable swimming in these waters because I'm used to waking up in the morning and these being the emotions that I feel constantly.
I think it just says something about life, generally speaking. That
I agree.
We are, everything is built to go through pain and frustration.
Every evolutionary aspect of being a human being is either A, to facilitate reproduction, or is a byproduct of some other mutation in our genes that then became cool. Like that's why baldness is part of the human genome, because baldness doesn't typically start like people who were going bald were not part of natural selection, because as they were going bald in our current average age of going bald, you had already passed your reproductive years. So a partner saw you had a hair, she'd fuck you, you'd have kids, then you'd go bald, which is irrelevant to the natural selection of it because you already had your kids. So there's a million aspects like that of what happens to you after those childbearing ages, which as a civilized society we are now very keenly aware of. because we all live to be fucking 80. So, what happens after 30 really matters now. Meanwhile, it didn't. So I'm totally on board with that.
I'm trying to tear
thought process.
down if all of the crazy shit that I've done serves a altruistic purpose or is like purely ego driven. And
There is no altruism.
I
So
mean,
it's all ego driven.
but a lot of the things I've done are absolutely private and only for me. And I've never shared with anybody. So what's the point? What's the point in doing that?
That goes back to PR's point about why people run the marathon. They're not doing it because they're trying to get sponsored by New Balance. They're doing it because they get to feel really good about themselves.
I disagree. I think that it's arguable that it's an egotistical thing. Everybody, and although PR is one of the nicest, kindest, most positive people in the world, I think that he does have a very competitive side in the nicest way. And it is, well, shit, if this is an opportunity to at least say that I'm going to be part of the team that attempts to complete this, that it's an ego boost in and of itself.
Okay. Well, then, and the things that you're doing, and it's only for you, are an ego boost for you. They're giving you a better, more positive feeling about yourself, which then you carry on into your everyday life outside of it. People don't need to know why you have fucking big dick energy. They just need to know that you do.
I have big dick energy?
And you do from whatever you're doing.
I don't think I've told you guys that. Nobody's ever told me that.
I'm saying theoretically, hypothetically. In this world,
all right,
that you're talking about.
So it's for dope and it's for ego.
That's what I think. Yeah.
What do you? What's your final?
I agree.
Dope and ego.
Good man.
Let's do some mother licking Funkler nuggets.
You got it, bro. Well, we got the big one.
We got the biggie.
The big taste.
Hey, that was fun.
Fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
I think it was perfect.
This last Thursday, started at 4. Everybody who's anybody showed up. We had 3 great bands. We had a huge stage. A lot of compliments. People had fun. People got dressed up.
Hell yeah, they did. Well, I think that is a understated angle that you should play up in the future for Taste. Where I get the atmosphere that I experienced on Thursday is the weather was nice. The music was floating through. It was closed off. People who are somebody were there, like people that mattered in the community were there hanging out, walking around. And everybody kind of just dresses up a little bit and you're there and it feels like a different sort of environment. I mean, I plan and do Jazz Fest every year. Jazz Fest is like a party. This is like a cocktail party. Like this was like you could see and be seen at Taste.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the experience and I fucking loved it. Like you're not sitting down and having a buffet style meal. You're not setting up a fucking rad table at Jazz Fest and catering it. You're walking around having little tasters of all these really great places in Hannibal Square. You're having a glass of wine. You're having a mixed drink. You're seeing people who, you're meeting people who's like, oh yeah, I own this business. I do this. I work with this guy over here. I'm looking for a job. Like you meet all these people and it's like the way I'm picturing it in my brain is just this floating jazz music with great weather. Everybody's dressed up. Cocktail party. Very awake, very quick, telling jokes. It's fucking rad. I dug it. It had a different atmosphere to me than it's had in the last couple of years. I think it really it differentiated itself from other events that I've been to. And it's just, I think for your niche, for your community, for what you're trying to do here in Winter Park, I think it was perfect.
Boom.
That's a good takeout. I think it is something that, I've been toying with whether we should get, a few thousand people at the event, because a lot of the times you want to see a street that's jam-packed.
Yeah.
And some of the takeouts that I got on Friday afternoon was that people enjoyed it, because they feel it's very exclusive.
Yeah.
That it's one of the times when you can actually walk down, you can go to a festival, a food and, music festival, and not feel that you're rubbing, you're there shoulder to shoulder.
With our generation coming into like the prime with money and standing, and if you had kids old enough where they're doing their own thing, and the next generation after us coming into that, I think the future is not fucking sold out stadiums for artists. It's not fucking going to the Chiefs versus the fucking Packers when there's 95,000 people there and you have to park and do that nightmare. It is curated experiences. Like, it's bringing people together in a curated experience that I think is going to be the future of like of enjoying public spaces, and that's what I think you guys did.
Yeah, thank you. That I think that was a big tick to the team. Amanda and Ed pulled out all the stops and really put on a great show. So thank you to you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say, you guys both, Ed, PR, Trevor, of course, you guys organize it well. Amanda and Ed, you guys fucking killed this shit. I told you, Ed, I thought the way you did all this producing and shit, you are a fucking wizard, man. It was rad.
Wizard. What else happened this last week?
So I left Taste for a minute and I can't wait to talk about this because it's a very negative experience from a group that I have only positive experiences from and have expressed them on the podcast. I left Taste to go to the Monroe for a happy hour. The Monroe is in downtown Creative Village. It's owned by my fucking favorite group. Like, I don't know them personally, but I fucking love Sparrow. They own Sparrow. I love Reyes. They own Reyes. I love Sato Sushi. They own Sato Sushi. And I like very well the Osprey. And those are the ones that they own, and they own the Monroe.
And you do remember that I had the only bad review ever of a restaurant was Monroe.
Yes.
Some months ago.
Well,
yeah.
let me tell you, the service was a flaming pile of fucking garbage.
Same.
I walked up for a happy hour where a prominent law firm in town had paid for half of the restaurant and had probably 75 people there, 80 people there. One server who, I'm going to this event being like, I'm coming and hanging out for an hour, hour and a half because I'm getting back to Taste. I need to go to this event though and talk to people. So I'm like, I'm going to hit it. I need to drink fast. Like, cause I'm going to get a drink. I'm probably going to get another drink before I leave. And I'm looking around and there's no fucking service. I walk up to the bar and I go, hey, I need to just start a tab, like my own tab, whatever. They're like, yeah, you're not allowed. I go, well, fuck, what do you mean I'm not allowed? They go, yeah, if you're with that group. I go, well, then pretend I'm not with that fucking group then. Say I'm over there sitting by myself. Are you telling me I can't give you a credit card and open a fucking tab? I'm not asking for a discount. I'm not asking you to be on some block. I'm buying a fucking drink. She's like, well, I'll get the manager. Manager comes over and go, are you really going to tell me that I can't open a tab right now? And the manager goes, open him a tab. I go, thank you, for God's sake. So it took me fucking yelling at a manager to open just to get a drink because this server was clearly unbelievably overwhelmed by the amount of people that they assigned one human being to get drinks for. And I'm just looking around like, what the fuck are they doing? They brought out food. I will tell you, they had buffalo sliders. They were good.
Okay.
Other than that, the food was fucking garbage. Like, it was not good.
I didn't even like the sliders, but the service was so here's the thing when you go into the Monroe, right? The decor is fantastic.
Yes.
It is outstanding.
Yes.
You do walk in and you think, wow, this is a 5-star restaurant bar experience.
I mean, and they have it sectioned off where it's like the dining room.
Yeah.
The really cool bar.
There's a lounge.
The front where there's a lounge. I'm like, I agree with you. It's beautiful. Like, it's so rad looking.
And I said that to the manager when I was having the guy that was trying to help me as well. When I was, I told you that my check was doubled for some reason. And I said to the guy, how did you guys make this error? And he couldn't explain it. And he was a nice guy, probably the same guy that I met. But I just said to him, do you know, like, how much of money the owners actually put into this particular place.
Yeah.
They really want people. The only reason why they put all that money in is they want people to enjoy the experience.
I just feel like they've made a poor choice of whoever's in charge of that particular restaurant, because I've never had a negative experience at the other 4. Like, not even close.
No.
They have gone out of their way to always take care of me anytime that I've ever been there. Like, I'm fucking nobody. Like, I'm nobody that they're like, oh shit, this is a Michelin guy making our determination.
Hey, that's not big dick energy, man.
No,
You're
it's
somebody.
realistic self-awareness where I'm like, they should look at me and go, this is our demographic of people who pay. Middle-aged white man who's fucking walking in here. This is the guy who's fucking give her some money. But other than that, I'm just a fucking normal guy. And Sparrow, Reyes, Osprey, Sato, every time, fantastic. No fucking complaints. The food's excellent. And the Monroe's just like it's slumping. They gotta do something about that shit. So that's my big
Pity.
nugget.
Yeah. No nuggets for me, man.
Nothing?
Really?
Yeah.
DJ Indiana Jones, man. You don't have any nuggets?
Fortune and
I
glory.
thought you said you were switching up your routine.
I did, but it's been a repeat. It's been a rinse and repeat of the usual kind of
So the time is
walk
flying.
around the lake. Yeah. No,
All right.
can't do that again. So no, nothing.
Well, we'll
Hey,
have to-
I can give you a nugget so one of the things that I've always no, it's not a restaurant though.
Jesus Christ.
One of the things that we've
They're
talked
not just
about,
restaurants, dude. Nuggets are supposed to be local fucking let's party.
It's one experience today in the gym.
Let's go. I
So
love
here
gym
I
stories.
am in the sauna today, right at the end of my workout. I've worked
Completely
out.
naked, legs wide
No,
open.
no, naked. I've got a. I
Wearing
believe,
a suit?
No, I believe you should wear I've got my running shorts. I got my swimming trunks on actually because I had to swim before that, and I've got my sandals on. I'm in there, but I walk in. There's one guy in there, and he's got his music blasting.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So now
terrible.
I've asked you guys, my good counsel. I said, can you guys help me? How do I deal with these tricky
Yeah,
situations?
did you pull the?
And I don't know. No, I did. I tried to check my pocket. Do I have my cell phone? But no, I couldn't because I went for a swim. So I did not have a phone, right? So that was the one thing. But I thought, no, that wasn't going to work anyways. So anyways, the guy says to me, he's obviously this high energy guy. He says to me, hey, have you seen Goldie Hawn? Gee, she's aged really badly. I'm thinking, what?
Oh my God.
What is that? This guy just kind of blurts this out to me, right? He says, yeah, you should see pictures of her in her 80s, man. She didn't age well at all. She didn't look after herself. Something like that, right? But he's got this music. Now, I'm not listening to anything he says because he has this music, right? And so I sit down and I go into like 10 seconds. I'm going to just relax myself. And then I say to him, and I've always wanted to be polite. I'm doing the neck, like, hey, listen, ignore everything around you. If it's offensive, leave.
Oh man, I'm
Yes.
getting
Right?
I'm getting angry right now just thinking about this.
So
scenario.
this guy has got this music on speakerphone, but he's also playing it on like 2-second intervals. So it's coming back all the time. So I'm kind of closing my eyes and I'm trying to say, I'm going to put up with this loud music or leave. But he kept it like going where it was like 2 seconds and he went back to the start of the song. And then I said to him, excuse me, in the most polite way that I could, excuse me, are you going to put the music on speakerphone? And he looks at me and he says, yeah, I think I am. So I said, I'd appreciate it if you turn it down or put it on your headphones. And he says, why? And he looked at me like complete surprise. And then I said, well, communal spaces, man. Just, respecting each other's privacy. And he was like, and I wasn't looking at him. So I was kind of just, in my zone, not having a confrontational conversation.
Oh, man,
Was like
my
just
adrenaline is going so much right now.
And then I said, and I kept quiet. And then he, like 5 minutes later, he made it softer and then he put it off. And then another guy walked in and he was high energy again and he spoke to the other guy, but I was in my own zone now. And he happened to mention, which I found so funny. He's a local. He actually has lived a period in Winter Park, but now he lives in the Dr. Phillips area. And he says, the property prices, he's obviously a realtor, but he says to this guy that's walked in, how the property prices in Orlando have gone through the roof. And he says, yeah, it's because of those fucking New Yorkers and people from New Jersey. that have come in here. He says, no class, man, no class. And I think to myself,
he did the same shit. He lived in what he did is he lived in Winter Park. He thought he was so fucking smart, real estate agent. He sold his Winter Park shit for a bunch of money and moved to some shithole out in Dr. Phillips.
Yeah, and what he says,
terrible.
You know what?
Yeah, that's what happens to you when you make these terrible fucking decisions. When you think you're a smart real estate guy and you fucking move to the middle of nowhere.
But what is so funny about that conversation is that the guy was talking about other people's class when he was sitting playing music and on speakerphone.
I mean, that's pretty typical, I think.
Right?
Yeah. People call
class, call somebody else classless when you have no class.
And they're fucking hillbillies.
You think you're better than me? Yeah.
So that was quite not the nugget that I wanted to end
That was
on.
a
But
good
sorry
nugget.
about
I got
that.
ramped up.
Yeah.
I want to go to your gym and kick some ass, man.
Yeah. What would you do, by the way? Would you say anything, or would you just quit?
Oh, man. Usually I don't have to do much. I can shift my energy pretty quick, like body language, nonverbal communication, that people are on their best
He's just
behavior.
gonna fucking lean in and stare right in his eyeballs.
Yeah, I would do some awkward shit like that. So the example that I had that I think we've talked about previously is guy had his cell phone up very loud on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So I turned on the most obnoxious music that I think he would not like, and he turned his off. I love, especially in even like, so a sauna is an uncomfortable situation for most people because there's nudity. The heat has everything ramped up. I probably would have gone and like sat cheek to cheek with him and just started like breathing heavy or something. I would, like, if he's gonna make me uncomfortable, I'm gonna make them 10 times more uncomfortable. I do not like when you got time for a quick story?
Yeah, hit it.
All right. As far as uncomfortability, I was very upset, and I'm very outspoken about COVID masks. I think that masks were ridiculous. Even if masks did work, nobody was wearing them properly. They were touching, like, so if you're breathing through your mask, they were touching their mask and then touching shit. They had the mask down below their nose. I think it was just a ridiculous waste of time. So the Intuitive Muse had invited me on a date, and it was a surprise date. I kind of caught wind of what it was, and it was the Van Gogh immersive experience.
Oh yeah, I went to that
out at the convention center, and it I knew it was end of quarantine and masks were prevalent, and I was just fed up with it, man. And so convention center is a very large space. I'd even consider it like there's fucking birds flying around in there. I don't really consider it a close confined space. I really wanted to make a statement about this mask thing. So I'm trying to think of the best way to tell this story so that it has a punchline. But before going in, I put a Speedo on underneath my pants. And in my mind, I said, if they make me put on a mask, I'm going to wear a Speedo through the entire event to make them uncomfortable as a mask makes me uncomfortable. And going into the event, the guy said, you need to put on your mask. I gave him a little shit and said, are you fucking kidding me? And he goes, yeah, you have to put on a mask. And so I put on the mask and dropped my pants at the same time. So I'm just wearing Speedo covering the fiddly bits. And he goes, you can't do that. And I go, the fuck I can't. The way I kind of figured it is like, if you're at the convention center and you have the Rockettes or something, there's chicks walking around in virtual bikinis with leggings and shit. And so I walked around the Van Gogh experience in my Speedo. And
I think that shows the hypocrisy our country's going through right now. Honestly, a private business owner can say whatever they want to say. And if I say I want masks but no Speedos, if you want to go to my fucking place of business, you need to wear a mask, no Speedo.
Well, they didn't enforce the Speedo rule. The guy said you can't do that, and I still wore the Speedo.
He's the representative of the company. He shouldn't have to call the police. He's the representative of the private company you're going to see. And if they have rules that you're supposed to follow, you should follow the rules of the private business. There's no fucking freedom of whatever you want to do while you're in somebody else's private business. Like, if they tell you, we want a mask, we want you to wear Mardi Gras masks. It doesn't protect you from disease, but that's the rule we have when you're going through the fucking Van Gogh experience. And we don't want you wearing Speedos because we think it's fucking gross. So they own the company. They should be able to do whatever they want. And people who are all about we shouldn't be forcing anybody to wear masks also claim to be about private business owners and their rights.
Hey, my Speedo wasn't gross, man.
I've seen you win a Halloween contest wearing a Speedo-ish, and I think you won partially because of the shock factor.
Well, I had shit hanging out that night.
You had a lot hanging out that night.
On that note,
Yeah, let's cue the music.
good end.
All right. Hey, thank you for listening. As always, PR, Nick are here, Ed, Intuitive Muse. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Hit like and subscribe. Leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media for adventures throughout the week. And
Ooh, see you in the promised land.
Let me see your Speedo pictures.